and welcome to today's video where I will be covering week 2, day 5 of the LPL, which you can see here. We had 3 matches that all went 3 games. It was a long day. Started at 2 a.m. and it just ended at 11 a.m. Then I also have the LCK from this morning. So let's get started. I cover each game, noting the key moments for you, saving you time so you don't have to watch a 3-game series. You know what happened in a matter of 15-20 minutes. I, over time, hope to get better and make it take less time to do these reviews, but nevertheless. First game of the day was between Ultra Prime and LGD. 2 teams at the bottom 4 of my power rankings, both teams 0-3, as you can see. Ultra Prime would end up being victorious and win this series. Elk was my MVP, and I'll get to why. Elk once again looked great. Him and Shaoxi in the bot lane looked very, very good. Maybe most underrated bot lane in the LPL. I mean, really, when you think about it, a bottom tier team with a great bot lane like that, it is going to be underrated. Excuse me. So, speaking of the bot lane, they went up 2-0 to start off this series. Elk with a double kill at 4 minutes. Cryin would then also solo kill Yi Ji in mid lane, which then they end up trading 1-for-1. Ultra Prime would use that advantage to take a Drake. In the end, they would end up going to Soul with an Ocean Soul. By 10 minutes, Ultra Prime were up 2,500 gold. Z's would solo kill Fearness at 11 minutes, including a pick play. So they're using their advantages to get using their advantages to get pick plays around the rift. Excuse me. And then also take another Drake. 17 minutes, they would keep exchanging kills in bot lane. Not 13 minutes. 15 minutes, the score was 6-3 in favor of Ultra Prime. They had a 5.5k gold lead, and Elk himself had 2,200 of that. Ultra Prime would then go to Soul Point. It was contested, but they took it. 20 minutes, they would also win a team fight. LGD would win a team fight. Yag with a double kill on what looks to be Echo. Yes, he played Echo. This was the first Echo of the year. Why did I forget? That was first Echo of the year. LGD pulled it out, losing effort. 21 minutes, Ultra Prime are up big in gold, 6k now. They would then turn that into a Soul where they aced LGD. Elk would be a key contributor in that fight with multiple kills. At 24 minutes, because a minute later they just took the Baron, and then they used that Baron to end through mid. Very quick, easy game, 16-8. Game 2, LGD would respond. However, Ultra Prime did get out to an early lead again with double kills in bot lane. Shadow would solo kill Hacker, which ended up creating a mismatch in the jungle. 4 minutes, LGD would dive top, get ahead in top lane. Chaos would happen in bot lane also as well, where Cryin would get a double kill. So they're getting up big early, LGD are. And Ultra Prime are responding, like I said, with Cryin with a double kill. 5 minutes, Ultra Prime would go bot lane again, and then also go out, get a team fight win after LGD would take the Rift Herald at 9 minutes. So at 10 minutes, Ultra Prime are ahead again, 6-4. The gold lead isn't really there as much, but Elk is 1-0-4. He has got high kill participation at this point. LGD would take a Mountain Drake after that. We'll steal it, as a matter of fact. And eventually go to Soul Point before the game was done. Yag would have a double kill in that fight. LGD would then win another team fight 3-0 afterwards. And by that point, LGD are actually up 9-7, 1.5k gold, and Yag is 3-0-2 at the time. Eric had a double kill in that fight that went 3-0 a minute earlier. So Eric started coming online with the Jinx. The Jinx was a big power pick today, as was the Caitlyn. The Caitlyn was used by Elk in that game and this game. In multiple games throughout the day, Caitlyn was quite a power pick. We also saw Morgana, which was, I think, maybe the second Morgana we've seen this year, or the first. Different team compositions, different power picks for today as the meta changes. So 15 minutes, I said LGD were up. LGD would then ace Ultra Prime a minute later. Yag with a quadra kill. So Yag is going off on what looks to be LeBlanc. So it's a really good LeBlanc game today. That would then turn into a Cloud. LGD would then win a team fight 5-3. Elk would have a triple kill in the losing effort. Eric would have a double kill. So Eric is, like I said, carrying LGD at this point. Him and Yag back and forth. 20 minutes, it's 19-11. LGD, they have a 5K gold lead. And Yag is 7-0-4. So he is doing a lot of work for them as well. So, like I said, Eric and Yag are carrying. That turns into a Baron, which turns into a 10K power play. Turns into Chemtech Soul Point, and you kind of get the picture. 10K power plays usually are game ending. LGD would win it by 25 minutes going through mid lane. Game 3, it was a little chaotic in the early game. There's a lot of black up here because a lot of the stuff happened in the first 10 minutes. Needless to say, at 10 minutes, it was 6-1 Ultra Prime. They had a 3K gold lead, and Elk was 3-0-1 because at level 1, they got a kill. They got a 2v2 kill at 2 minutes. LGD would respond with one. At 8 minutes, Elk would get a double kill in the bot lane. And then at 9 minutes, Ultra Prime would win 2-0 for Rift Herald. So by 10 minutes, they're up big. LGD would then take the mountain. Eventually, Ultra Prime would get the soul in this game. After a couple exchanges of priority in top and mid and teams trying to make plays, Ultra Prime would take the ocean and then start their stacking of Drakes in the end, where they get a Hextech Soul. At 18 minutes, Ultra Prime would win a team fight 3-1. Elk double kill. Elk would then become a key player in the next fight, where LGD actually won 4-2. Fearness had a triple kill. Fearness really showed up in this game on Camille. He was hard carrying and really just, he was dragging LGD by their hair to try and get this win. He was fabulous in the third game on Camille. Absolutely dominant. But it was in a losing effort. At 20 minutes, Ultra Prime are up 13-7, 5K gold. Elk has 8 kills. Ultra Prime would then go to take a Hextech Drake. LGD would win a couple fights in mid lane. Fearness is now 6-2-3 on Camille at 25 minutes, so it's Fearness against Elk. However, LGD would allow them to continue stacking Drake, so then they got to Soul Point. 30 minutes now, it's 15-11 and a 2K gold lead for Ultra Prime. So the game is pretty much anyone's at this point. 2K is nothing at 30 minutes. Ultra Prime will win a team fight 2-1 to take the Baron, and then use that Baron to take Soul, which was uncontested. I mean, there were no kills in that fight to take the Soul. And then the game ended a couple minutes later. Elk got a triple kill in the ace, and they ended up winning. I mentioned Elk a ton of times. Obviously, I really think he's a good player, and I talk about him every time Ultra Prime plays. He played a key part in all 3 games. If there was an MVP for LGD, I probably would have picked Fearness, because Fearness in the third game really showed up on Camille. I think he feels the benching he had just gotten recently, and it's like, I don't want to ride the pine anymore. I have to step it up. But they're 0-4, so I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe he ends up getting benched again, because the first 2 games he was pretty absent. Excuse me. Game 2, RNG and Anyone's Legend. RNG struggled in this series to start it off. Turned it around before the end. Zhao Hu, obviously MVP. His Game 3 performance was massive. So, first game, he actually starts off the... Actually, Zhao Hao starts off this series for Anyone's Legends with the solo kill on Wei. Then they would go top lane and try and get top ahead and win their matchup. RNG would go bot lane and answer down there. Everyone resets. Anyone's Legends takes Drake. Eventually, they would take the Soul. RNG were slacking on Drakes in Game 1, and that's ended up being the reason why they lost. Because at 14 minutes, Anyone's Legends are up win a team fight 3-0. Batty with a triple kill. The Soul, the next 6 minutes, nothing happens really in terms of kills. Anyone's Legends takes a mountain. and then nothing happens until the next Drake spawns at 20 minutes when anyone's legend tries to take it to go to soul point. RNG try to stop them. However, in the end, anyone's legend are able to weaken RNG enough to make them recall despite it being a 3v4. So at 21 minutes, anyone's legend has a soul point. They're up 6-4, but RNG is slightly ahead in gold. 22 minutes, anyone's legends gets a pickoff play, and then ends up fighting afterwards after taking their Baron, which renders their Baron useless, so the game stalls out for a few more minutes after that. Anyone's legend then wins a team fight 3-1 to be able to take the soul. After that, anyone's legend's up 12-7, 1.5k gold. Betty had a double kill in that fight to get soul for Chemtech soul, which now puts him at 6-1-3 on the Jinx. So Jinx is also another power pick today. That once she started going off, it was impossible for them to stop her. Anyone's legend would win a team fight 3-0 to take the Baron. Betty with another big play in that, and then Betty would also finish the game up. Betty was a key contributor in game 1 for anyone's legends. Really, really carried hard on Jinx. I mean, double-digit kill totals, multiple 3 pieces. I mean, he was on fire. Game 2 for RNG. They end up obviously winning this game. RNG, the game is very slow to start. At 9 minutes, the first instance happens where someone dies. RNG get the Rift Herald in that exchange. Anyone's legend takes the first Drake. However, at 15 minutes, RNG are up 1-0 and 1.5k gold, so it's anyone's game. RNG then start making a couple plays. In 19 minutes, they win a team fight 4-3. Betty had a double kill and Bin had a double kill on both sides. Bin was a key player also in these 2 games, and I struggled to pick between Bin and Xiaohu. However, Bin really didn't have many assists in game 2. On his jacks, he was either going to kill him or he wasn't going to do anything. So I ended up going away from him for MVP. So 20 minutes, RNG were up 3.5k gold and 5-3 in kills. They then took the Hex Tech Drake. They would eventually go to Soul Point. RNG would win a couple team fights afterwards. 25 minutes, they're up 5k. 26 minutes, there was a little skirmish in the jungle where people wanted priority for objectives. However, no one was able to come out on top. A couple minutes later, they were able to fight again, in which case Gala had a double kill. The only time really Gala showed up at all in this series, noticeably, I mean, he had a couple kills here or there, but he was a key contributor in that fight to get them to Hextech Soul Point. After that, they were able to take the Baron. That pushed them to 9.5k gold, and game was pretty much over after that. RNG would get an ace. And afterwards, they would get another ace, and Bin would have a double kill in that last one to be able to end the game, 21-9. Game 3 was pretty similar. Xiaohu would solo kill Maple. Maple's the mid laner for anyone's legend. There's so many damn games today. Anyone's legends would then take the Rift Herald, and then also win a team fight 2-0. However, afterwards, the RNG team would get the Rift Herald. So actually the first fight was just a 2v2 kill. I'm misreading my own writing. 7 minutes, anyone's legend had 2v2 kill. Their bot lane doing well in the early game. However, despite that, when they went top lane, they lost the race to the Rift Herald and won the team fight. They would take the bear objective. They would take an Ocean Drake in response to the Rift Herald being taken. RNG decided to get Bin ahead. 2-0 team fight win. The teams would trade kills in top lane again over the next several minutes. 15 minutes, the game's 4-4. Royal Never Give Up's up 1k. But Bin is 2-0-1. Like I said, they're trying to get Bin ahead on his Camille. So, like I said, he played a bigger role in this game than that game, but I didn't feel that he did enough in this game to warrant, because, I mean, what Xiaohu did in Game 3 was massive at the end. RNG would take an Infernal, 22 minutes. Bin would have a double kill and their team fight win 4-1 to take the Baron. But however, at 24 minutes, Zhao Hu would end up with a triple kill and a 5-2 ace to get Infernal Drake. So now the Drakes are tied 2-2. So at 27 minutes, RNG are up 13-7. Zhao Hu is 6-0-6, and the team's up 6K. Throughout the early fights and skirmishes, Zhao Hu was playing a role, getting a kill in each fight. Like, he always did something in the fight on his backs. And then in the end game, he was just massive. In the final fight a minute later, he would be a key contributor and have multiple kills in the 4-0 team fight win to get the win. Like I said, I struggled to pick Bin. I've said it a couple times. I didn't end up picking him. Zhao Hu was it. Zhao Hu's solo kill to start the game in Game 3 really set the tone. And I think that's more important than almost anything. When you set the tone in the early game like that and you just smoke them right off the start, I think that's a really good thing in a 3-game series. Last series, you'd think it would be a blowout between Weibo and ThunderTalk, but ThunderTalk showed up until the very end. Game 1, Weibo came out firing. However, they came out firing, winning the game, but ThunderTalk had the first kill, getting a kill in the 2v2 in bot lane. They're actually really emphasizing influencing that 2v2. They went down there multiple times. However, Weibo would get a 2v1 advantage in bot lane shortly after that. ThunderTalk would take a couple Drakes and also make pick plays in the first 20 minutes as the early game went to the mid game. And this was a weird game in that way. It was one of those games where the team with more kills actually was losing in gold because they were just getting out-farmed. So at 20 minutes, at 19 minutes, there was a game-changing fight, in which case Weibo prevented ThunderTalk from getting to Mountain Soul Point. Wanfeng had a quadra kill, and in that ace that flipped the game, Weibo was now up 7-5 in kills and 6K gold. So subtract 5, they were down 5-2 before that ace minimum. Weibo ended up turning it around a couple minutes, well, not turning it around, but establishing more dominance a couple minutes later, winning a team fight 4-1 for the Baron. Wanfeng with a double kill, which then turned into a Mountain Drake, so now it's 2-2 in Drakes. Weibo would then push that Baron to a 10k power play, and 10,000 gold, like I said, is pretty much a loss. They end up winning easily afterwards, so that was a pretty cut and dry game. It was 15-6. Game 2 was a short and sweet game for ThunderTalk. Weibo allowed ThunderTalk to get like an Exodia comp and got cute with theirs, and it did not work. So at 11 minutes, the first kill happened. ThunderTalk was able to get a kill. This was after they'd already taken the Cloud and then taken the Mountain. 12 minutes, the Shy would get a solo kill on New. New would return the favor before the end of the game in this Gragas GP matchup. Weibo would eventually respond and prevent Soul Point by getting a Chemtech Drake, in which case they'd won the fight to do so. At 20 minutes, ThunderTalk were up 2-1. Actually won a team fight 2-1, in which case Puff had a double kill. ThunderTalk would then win a team fight to get to Soul Point with a double kill, another double kill by Puff. Puff and Southwind looked really good in this game on the Jinx and Yuumi. Yuumi was a big power pick in these last 2 games for Southwind. Like I said, 27 minutes, New would return the favor, getting a solo kill. That would turn into a Chemtech Soul. 29 minutes, Weibo actually stole the Baron, but ThunderTalk would kill them all 4-0, in which case Puff had a triple kill, and that made the Baron like the most negative Baron I've ever seen. It was like negative 3k or something. After the Baron subsided, Puff would get a double kill, and ThunderTalk would win their first game of the season. Obviously, they don't win the series, but it was their first individual game win of the season by beating Weibo in Game 2. Game 3 was an absolute marathon. It was 39 minutes long. ThunderTalk would go out early, ganking bot lane, in which case at 2 minutes, Frigid had 2 kills on Lee Sin. He had a double kill. That turned into an early Drake. They would respond. Weibo would respond by getting a kill of their own to be able to get Rift Herald. There was an exchange of kills in mid lane, in which case Cryan and Captain tried to 1v1. I believe Captain killed Cryan, but Cryan was able to get him under the turret with a turret shot. So I give it to Captain. Weibo would take a Chemtech Drake. Eventually, they would take the Soul in this game. By 15 minutes, Thunder Talk were up 4-3, and Weibo had a 3K gold advantage. So, like I said, it was one of those games where we saw earlier where a team that had more kills had less gold than the opposition. They were getting out-farmed and outplayed. In the next several minutes, nothing really happened. We had 2 back-to-back Drakes, so at least 6 minutes where there was no real significant moments. 18 minutes, Weibo would win a fight to be able to take the Infernal, and then they would be able to take the Soul Point uncontested. 27 minutes, Thunder Talk are up 7-5. Southwind is 0-5 on Yumi. He is doing his best to try and keep everyone alive. However, Weibo's gold lead moved up to 4.5K. Weibo would then take the Soul after winning a team fight 2-0 at 28 minutes. Thunder Talk probably should have fought the last one at Soul Point to try and make things a little easier for themselves later on, but they didn't. 31 minutes, Weibo would win a team fight 2-1, take the Drake, push their gold lead to 10K. And usually, like I said, that should end the game, but Weibo struggled to end this game for the next 10 minutes. And, they're 8th on my board, and they're going to stay 8th, because I think they're a playoff team, but that is what, the end game in Game 3, that shouldn't have happened. They take the Baron, they get to 10K, then they take the Elder afterwards, push the base of Thunder Talk, are able to expose the Nexus, but then Thunder Talk are able to respond. They make a stand at the last second with like 5% of their Nexus left. Puff had a triple kill. They're able to make, they made a stand. And it forced Weibo to really struggle to end this game for the next couple minutes. Weibo would need to take another Baron and then need 2 more minutes before the end of the game, in which case Wanfeng had a triple kill because the Shy was able to, make a play on Kragus. But I didn't like how Weibo ended this game. Weibo has, it was better than the other performances, but, it wasn't what we expect out of the Formers Tuning Squad and the stars on their team. Like, they should be doing better than what they are. And as far as I'm concerned with this LPL Day 5 of Week 2, nothing is certain. Ultra Prime finally got a win. They deserved to win. RNG struggled at points, but the final 2 games they won pretty handily. However, Weibo needs to figure it out, because Game 3 should have been a lot easier to close it out against a team like RNG. Even a team against Ultra Prime. If they play Ultra Prime that way, they'll lose. I might argue that they would lose against all 4 of these teams if they played that way in Game 3 to end the game. But nevertheless, on to the LCK. Alright, now on to the LCK. We've got Week 2, Day 2, or Day 3? Day 3? Day 3. It's Friday. Okay, so both series, this one, all the games were pretty cut and dry, all 5 games. The winners were decided early. So Sandbox kind of threw up a dud. Young team does that. They got smoked, obviously, 31-7 between the 2 games. That's not acceptable. But it is a young team, so whatever. I guess it is acceptable. So what kind of confused me is Sandbox swapped out their AD carry. I don't think they should have done that, and the kid really didn't show up in this series against Teddy. Kwangdong would set the tone to start the series by going top lane early to try and get ahead. Sandbox responded by taking the first Drake. They would eventually go to Soul Point in this game. They would also take a Rift Herald, so the early game Sandbox were ensuring that they got objectives. However, at 13 minutes, the game started shifting because Sandbox took the Mountain Drake, so they were up 2 Drakes. Kwangdong were ready to respond. The Freaks got a double kill. That put them up 2.5k gold by 15 minutes. And then they were able to slow down Sandbox after that by taking a couple Drakes of their own. So they put off the Soul for Sandbox until much, much later in the game. By 20 minutes, it was only 4-1. Fate was 0-4 on TF, and they had a 3.5K gold lead. So Fate was playing a big role in this game, ensuring that the team got advantages. The next fight, Guangdong would win 2-1 in mid lane. And then at 32 minutes, Keen was up 4,000 gold on Dove. Keen ends up being the MVP because of that. I mean, he was effective in game 2, and he didn't maybe have a ton of kills. But he was truly a monster in game 1. Like, he was just destroying that Jace Gragas matchup. I mean, you can lose a matchup, but you can't be down 4,000 gold. Like, that's crazy. So 33 minutes, Guangdong take the Baron. They go 5-0 ace. Fate has a triple kill. They end the game that quickly. My cat's knocking around my board. Freaked me out. I was afraid it was going to fall like yesterday. Game 2, Guangdong would set the tone early once again by taking a 2-0 teamfight win for Rift Herald. This occurred after Sandbox took the first Drake, trying to get Soul, in which case they didn't even come close to it. Not many Drakes were taken in this game. Guangdong were all over the place. They went bot lane after that, and then also won a teamfight 3-0 to take the Infernal. Double kill for Teddy. 14 minutes, Guangdong will win a teamfight 3-1 in top. Keen with a double kill on Akali. At 15 minutes, the game was already 9-1. And it was already 9-1. They had a 6K gold lead, and Teddy was 4-0-4. I mean, they had went to a few places in this early game, made advantages, and the game was just out of hand. They would then win a team fight to take the next Rift Herald, win another team fight. At 20 minutes, it's 13-1. They're up 2-1 in Drakes. Teddy is 5-0-6. His Jinx was on fire. Like I said, Jinx and Caitlyn were real power picks today. They then turned that into a Baron a couple minutes later after a pick play. Sandbox would make a stand 1-1 to push them away. And then it would take till 30 minutes, so 6 minutes after that Baron had started, for Guangdong to end up winning. Teddy had a triple kill in that instance. I mean, final score 19-5. Like I said, Keen was the MVP because he was dealing a lot of damage in these fights for his late game, getting a kill here or there. But also that double kill early on at 14 minutes really kind of put Sandbox into a deeper hole that they couldn't come out of. And then game 1, his complete and absolute destruction of Dove in top lane is worthy of an MVP performance, in my opinion. Game 2 between Red Force and KT was a lot closer, obviously. 3-game series. However, all 3 games were blowouts individually. Red Force would set the tone early in the first game. After KT took the Chemtech Drake, Red Force would go bot and also go mid and create advantages in those lanes via kills. KT would then go to Cloud Soul Point before 17 minutes they'd reached 17 minutes. Because KT were responding in their own way. They were trying to get advantages in bot lane as well, so they could take Drakes. Rascal had a solo kill on Canna. Rascal, once again, looks very good. He's going to be what gets KT into their playoffs. And hell, I mean, the way he is playing some great League of Legends. Who even knows what he could do? I mean, when it comes playoff time. 17 minutes, they split kills in bot lane. At 20 minutes, KT wins a team fight 2-0 to be able to push their gold lead to 3K by taking a Baron. And also prevent the Cloud Soul for a few more minutes by taking a Drake. Because at this point, obviously, like I said, KT were at Cloud Soul Point. 26 minutes, KT are up 6-3 after that Baron has subsided. Rascal's 3-1-2 on Lee Sin. KT then take the Cloud Soul. KT would then take the Baron. And 8.5k gold lead. So after that, I mean, the game was over. 8.5k gold lead. They push it to 10k. They end through mid. Aiming has a double kill. So Rascal really set them up in that game for the lead. But however, it was the only game KT would win. Like I said, they lose this series 2-1. Game 2, not a lot happened. I mean, there's under 10 lines here. 16-6, but not a lot of real confrontation. Dread would solo kill Cuz in the early game. And then also take the Ocean off of that. Then get an advantage bot. and make a pick play. So by 12 minutes, Dredd had been all over the damn place, getting Cuz behind, getting a Drake, ensuring that his bot lane was ahead, putting another person behind. KT would take a Cloud. 15 minutes, Red Force are up 3-1. Dredd has all 3 kills for the team, and they're up 3k gold. So the game is already kind of really going in their favor by 15 minutes. The next few minutes, there wasn't a lot going on besides action around Drakes. Red Force would take the next 2 Drakes. Chemtech get into Soul Point. Both times they were contested. That's where the 16-6 comes from. There weren't fights not around objectives over random priority. I mean, the only time these teams really converged in Game 2 was for Souls. Well, not Souls, but Drakes and the Soul. Red Force would win the fight 4-3 for the at 19 minutes. Arya would have a triple kill and Dredd would have a double kill in that 4-3 fight. So Arya was a big contributor for KT in Game 2 despite the loss on Akali. At 25 minutes, they'd go to Soul Point, 4-2. Kana with a triple kill. Kana could have been my MVP as well. He played very well in Game 3. But I thought to myself, I thought Dredd in the early game set the tone in both of these games. Like I said, 15 minutes, he was the only one doing work, really. I mean, getting rewarded for the work, so I'm rewarding him once again with the MVP. But turn that into a Baron, 6k power play, and then Ace through mid. Kana with a triple kill to end at 27 minutes. That game was pretty cut and dry. KT, I mean, outside of the fights for the Drakes, they didn't do anything in the early game to prevent themselves from losing this game. I mean, they waited too long to contest objectives. And maybe at the same time, maybe they shouldn't have contested the objectives because that's what ended up losing them the game. Maybe they wait a little bit longer. Maybe they try and ensure that this Ocean doesn't go in their favor in the early game in Red Force's favor, and then they can push the game back 5 more minutes. Nevertheless, Game 3, KT come out firing. They go bot lane in the 2v2, get 2 kills. Aiming is up big. Then they gank top to get ahead up there. Turn into an Ocean. Go down bot again. Get multiple kills again. So at 10 minutes, they're up... actually, what am I saying? KT goes bot. They get multiple kills. However, Red Force actually goes top lane, gets an advantage, takes a Baron, goes down bot, gets an advantage down there. So at 10 minutes, Red Force are up 6-4, 1k gold, and Dredd is 2-1-2. So Dredd is hard carrying again. This time on Poppy nonetheless, being very effective. They would then turn that into a Mountain at 12 minutes, which was a 3-1 team fight win. So now they're up 3.5k gold. So now the gold lead matches the kill score in terms of advantage. Eventually, Red Force would take the Hextech Soul in this game. Soul Point, they would fight 2-2. Kana and Aiming both have double kills in that fight. I mean, what are you going to do? So, 20 minutes. Red Force are up 11-7. Still, the gold lead's the same. Dredd is 2-1-6. So, Dredd is playing a big role in these fights, like I said, getting assists and keeping the gold lead ahead. 23 minutes, they would take the Soul, in which case Kana had a double kill in that fight. There was an ace for Red Force. So 3 minutes later, they had a big advantage. And they just, I mean, they had an 8k gold lead when they took the Baron at 26 minutes. Pushed it to 10k and ended the game through mid lane after that. Ghost with a triple kill. Ghost, once again, was pretty absent in this series. BDD was pretty absent as well. I mean, sure, they might have had a kill here or there, but they weren't really doing a lot. This was Dredd and, this was Dredd's game. Dredd and Kana. They were the ones carrying this series. I think BDD and Ghost are going to have to pick it up if they want to compete long term. I don't know how. How much this can be replicated. This whole Dredd carrying thing. I mean, he's looked good, so I really shouldn't shouldn't try and badmouth the guy or something. But I don't know how long it's going to take. I mean, how long this is going to last. Him hard carrying games for them. Their carries should be BDD and Ghost, and they're not. So Nevertheless, thank you for watching. This was my LCK and LPL coverage for today, January 21st or 20th. Like I said, I lost track of my days. Obviously, the title of the video is going to be correct. Stay tuned. My LEC and LCS video will be up later today. Like and subscribe if you want to see this content in the future. Constructive criticism is good criticism. And like I said, stay tuned for my second part later today.